chord. All right. So let's review a little bit of last week's last session. We looked at E minor and we studied this. We really pulled this one apart here. We talked about form and we talked about the primary chords and progressions and texture and we sort of a lot of different things here, different cadences. So let me play it. It's just as a refresher. E minor. Here we go. Okay, beautiful little piece. Can we have a quick little pop quiz? Well, not even a pop quiz, but can anyone like to summarize what we learned, or what you learned? What do you remember? What stuck from what we went through last time? Hopefully something.
I think I think probably the main thing was, well, like a really helpful thing was chunking the different parts.
Good.
Uh,
Yes.
and it like seeing doing the analysis of all the chords. Like I think that's like uh, really helpful to see, like to learning which chords, like how the notes go into the chords, which notes make which chords in the song, like which ones go together. And with a song like that, I wouldn't be able to do that. I mainly know the 1 4 5 chords, not really substitutions. So that's helpful to go through that for a song like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah. Good. So good. You used the term. You used a couple of terms. Primary chords. Yeah. So we did see those occurring quite a bit, and then substitutions as a fancy word as well. Yeah. So I guess the C chord would be a substitution there for the four chord. So that would be the six chord in the key of E minor. Just as a reminder, substitutions tend to work if you think of odd numbers and even numbers, to 2 4 6 and 3 5 7. So those chords tend to substitute each other well. Good. What else? So, and you mentioned chunking, which is a great way to learn this. That's awesome. Yeah. Anything else that anyone else remembers from this?
There was this different cadence, or going from the five to the six.
Good.
Was,
Awesome. Yes.
because I saw it in another couple of songs later in the week, a
Right.
five to a six. I was looking something as well. So it's a different cadence, or it's not quite the word.
Anyone
Um,
remember?
deceptive
Deceptive.
cadence.
Yeah.
Deceptive cadence. Thank
Deceptive.
you. Yes,
Deceptive cadence.
deceptive
5 to
cadence.
6.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You can kind of hear it, right? As an eyebrow raising chord there. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Is it just Yeah. Is the deceptive cadence always 5 to 6, or is it anything 6? Like anything to 6, or does it always have to
No,
be
it's got to
5?
be 5 to 6 because we expect 5 to 1. And so the 6 is acting like 1. And it's deceiving us in a way. It's saying, no, we're not going to 1. We're going to something that sounds a bit like 1, but it's a bit different too. So yeah, it should be 5 to 6. Anything to 5 is an interrupted cadence. Any chord to 5. So if you went 6 to 5, you can feel, right, interrupted because it needs to keep going, right? So anything to 5, you could go 1 to 5 or 4 to 5. No, that's all. That'll be an interrupted cadence.
Daniel, I read this week.
Perfect, I think. Yeah, George.
It's deceptive is working because the 6 is the relative minor of the 1.
Yeah, in a major key, it's the relative minor. Yeah, yeah.
So,
I
you're
think it
doing
works in a minor
deceptive
key
in a
too.
minor.
I think it works in minor because it's a slightly different, how do I say? The resulting chord is slightly different, but the effect is very similar because here it's a C chord, you get C, E, G. What we expect is E, G, B. And so you've got those 2 notes in common. And I think that's what creates the deceptive cadence. So if you're in C major, you have C, E, G, and the 6th chord is A, C, E. And so you get those 2 notes in common again. So I think it does work in minor, even if they don't maybe say it in the theory books. I don't know if they do classify it in minor the same. Maybe I have a quick look. You mind if I have a quick look? Let's see what Wikipedia.
You've got a theory
whatever.
book at your fingertips.
Theory book, Google, just Google. Okay, what do we get? A deceptive cadence begins with 5, except it does not end on the tonic. Often the triad built on the 6th degree. The submediant substitutes with the tonic. Where is it? A deceptive cadence may be used to... It doesn't actually say major or minor. This is Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's see. Let's try NPR. That's NPR. Let's see. Deceptive. What do they say? What did this? Oh no, that's like a whole. That's like a podcast type thing. Merriam-Webster. Ooh. A musical cadence in which the dominant resolves to a harmony other than the tonic. Interesting. So that definition's a bit looser, huh? Because most of the time they'll say 5 to 6, but anyway, I think you can make the case that it can occur in minor as well. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, we did the deceptive cadence, we did chunking, we talked about primary chords, we talked about substitutions. It's a whole theory theory textbook in a short piece. There's one or two more important things we spoke about.
Key change and chromaticism.
Oh, well, very good. Key change. What have you got? You got notes? You just write notes down, or?
No, it just...
Oh, it actually stuck. That's good. I'm glad it stuck. Good. Key changes and chromaticism. You want to elaborate? Key changes, where, how, what, who, what, when, where, how, why.
It started in E minor
Yeah.
and it went to G major, or I think it started A minor and then it went to G major at some point here. Right there, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. So you're talking about in the B section, it goes to a different color here. We go to E7, A minor, and then D7 to G. and we get a similar effect over in the A section a little bit there. E7 to A minor as well there. And what's that called? What kind of modulation is that? And how is it achieved?
Like which key is it going to? Like what's
No,
the
what
kick?
kind of modulation is it? Meaning,
Oh, passing? Passing
very
key?
good. Passing, yeah, passing modulation. And how is that achieved? How is a passing modulation usually
With
achieved?
the 5 chord of another key.
Very good. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So that E7 is the 5 chord of A minor. There again. And then that D7 chord is the 5 of G. And then we go back to the 5 of E minor. But then that's the deceptive cadence. We expect E minor. We get the C chord instead. And then we go B7 again. It's the 5 chord, then going to the 1. Okay, I guess this one could be called an interrupted, going 6 to 5, interrupted cadence. You can kind of hear, you can kind of feel it, right? Oops. Because you want the completion, right? You want to you feel that it needs continuation. All right, that's great. And then chromaticism. You mentioned chromaticism. So there's chromaticism in a couple of places. Here, when we go from E minor to E7 to A minor, so we've got the G natural, G sharp, and then it goes to A, so we get this chromatic movement in that middle voice, and then we get a bit of chromatic movement here. A sharp, B. Was there another spot? I think that might have been it. Yeah. Great. And then finally we did speak about layers. So anyone want to elaborate on that?
Well, from what I remember, you would play the kind of like the bass line would be louder, a little louder than in the melodies in the bass.
Yep.
And so you would play it a little bit. The higher notes would be a little bit like softer, and you could make the lower notes, the bass line, more just so you could hear the melody, like project the melody out in the bass.
Yep. That's great. Yep. Excellent. And we tend to see a pattern of the first and last beat of each measure. There's kind of and then you add the accompaniment in, and it's just more in the background. So okay, that's great. That's a pretty decent summary, I think, of everything we spoke about. So we can look at the next piece here. We've only got 2 pieces in this key. I think we looked briefly at it. This one is much more chordal. Yeah, much more chordal. Oops. Or the G sharp. So yeah, very chordable, good. A lot of similarities in the harmonic progression in terms of similar chords being used and similar key changes being used. There was one big difference though in the key change. Who remembers what that was? And maybe hopefully you heard it as I played through.
Well, it changes. It changes key at the end of the A section.
Very good. Changes key at the end of the A section. So very often we do see key changes at the start of a new section, but sometimes a key change will begin at the end of a section and then it will kind of flow into the next section a little bit. So that's kind of what's happened there, and that's going to the relative major from E minor to G major. And you can hopefully you could hear that kind of sweetening up, of the character, of the mood there. This one has, in addition to that, it's got a couple of other little passing modulations. So there's one. And actually it goes all the way into the next measure. So what's that passing modulation there?
A minor.
A minor, yes. A minor, and so the way we get there is through which chord?
Then E7.
E7, and there it is, E7 here and E there as well. So that G sharp is what kind of gives us a clue that we're going to the new key. G sharp obviously will not belong to the key of E minor. So he goes to A minor, and then from A minor he goes to the key of G. Okay, here's a question. Why is it a good idea to use the chord of A minor to link us from E minor to G major? Okay, I'll give you a clue. So if we're in E minor, we've got A minor is the chord number 4, yeah? Chord number 4. In the key of G major, A minor is chord number 2. So A minor belongs to both keys. A minor belongs to the key of E minor and to the key of G. Okay, so that's probably why he used that. If he had done a B7 chord here instead, B7 belongs to E minor, it's the fifth of E minor, but B7 is not part of the key of G. Okay, sometimes that's called a pivot chord. A chord that belongs to two keys. Yeah? So A minor could be a pivot chord to C major. It's the 6th chord in C major. It's the 2 chord in G major. It's the 4 chord in E minor. It's the 1 chord in A minor. Yeah? So that's another interesting point. Then we get another interesting little progression here. So what's going on there?
To C, going down to C major.
C, good. So yeah, passing modulation again, and he's getting there through G7. So that's the 5 of C. And then from C he goes to E7 to A minor.
A minor again.
Yeah, so there's A minor, then he lands on A minor, then he does a little bit of, not a deceptive cadence, but a little bit of deceptive motion, because then we go D7, and then that D goes up to the D sharp. Actually, it could be a deceptive. If we're in the key of G major, that's our 5 chord. In the key of G major, that is chord 6. D to E, yeah? So it sort of is like a deceptive cadence a little bit. But then with that added chromatic note, it's a really nice little addition to it. Going up it's like if we went, if we did it in the key of C major, right? In the key of C, the 5 chord's G. So you just shift up that G to a G sharp, and then you go to A minor, the 6 chord. So everyone see? Something like that. And then,
And
yeah.
that B7 is a D sharp diminished.
Yes, and that's a D sharp diminished. Good. So, yeah, so that's functioning like B7, but
It's pretty cool how it's so easy to make, just moving the D to the D sharp.
yes, that's what we spoke about. I don't remember which session, George, but recently, I think it was the masterclass earlier this week. The diminished chord, you lower, and take one note of the diminished chord, you lower it, and you get a dominant chord. So if you reverse engineer it, lower
I've
that,
forgotten everything.
lower that D sharp to D natural, you get the dominant chord there. Yeah. And then we get a nice okay, then we get a nice little cadence at the end here. Now this cadence here, okay, we've got something interesting going on here. Who can identify that? We're getting into a lot of stuff that's in foundation, so it's not things that we've discussed.
When I'm 64,
When I'm 64.
here's the clue. Cadential 6/4.
Very good coded answer there, George. Yeah, cadential 6/4.
I was trying to give a clue.
So, cadential 6/4. So a technique that's used a lot at the end of a phrase or end of a piece or end of a section. Cadential 6/4. You get your basically the defining feature is you get the dominant in the bass twice and then the tonic. So 5-5-1 in the bass. The first chord is the tonic chord. It's E minor, but it has B in the bass. The second chord is B7. In root position, B in the bass again, and then you get the E minor in root position now. You can hear how it has a nice ending effect, yeah, to it. Very, very, very common in this, especially in this period of music. And you guys, if you're playing whatever Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Mozart, Haydn, Tadega, Barrios, Mertz, Legnani, the list would just go on and on and on. If you're playing that music, you'll see that cropping up, and as well as all these other things we're talking about. So, okay, so the cadential 6/4 at the end. Let me
Is
write.
there a reason like why it's called a cadential 6/4, like the name?
Yeah, great question. So cadential sort of refers to like cadence, meaning like kind of like an ending point in a phrase. Um, and the 6/4 comes from the fact that this is the one chord in second inversion, which in figured bass is 6/4. If we use figured bass, and then we have 5 in root position. Usually it's very often a 7th chord, and then we go to the 1 chord in root position. So it's that 6/4 second inversion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's maybe we can do a bit of playing. So I think last time we chunked our way chunked our way through this this piece here, yeah. So maybe what we'll do is we'll look at this a little bit of this next piece, because it is in a sense it's already chunked for us, but I think it's a really good exercise in holding fingers down in one part of a chord and moving, seeing a moving line in another part. So you can see in the bass we have the moving line. In the top it's all just static. Yeah. So it's a really good exercise for keeping that third finger down and moving that bass line. So who would like to have a go just at that little chunk there? And we'll watch your left hand third finger very closely.
Okay, I will.
Deb.
Yeah.
All right, Deb. See if we can't quite see your left hand, Deb. You can, yes.
Tell me,
That's good.
can you see
Perfect.
now?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. It's good. Great.
missed a couple of taps fingers, that's all.
Awesome. Yep.
I wasn't playing the E then. I missed the high E.
Yeah, that's good. It's a bit awkward with the right hand. It's such a full
Yeah.
and the spacing, there's a gap between the thumb and the index, and then the middle and the ring, PI and MA, there's a sort of a little bit of a gap, so but that's good. That's nice. Oh, you could focus on sound a little bit. It's nice if you can get a nice resonant tone and like push the strings down a little bit, follow through a bit of one-handed clap. Can do well. So yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. It's just a matter of practicing
That's
that.
it. That's
Getting
it.
the fingers
No,
in the right.
yeah, that's good. That sounds nice, Deb. Nice and resonant. Good. Okay. Excellent. Who'd like to go next?
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Larry.
Yeah. So just on the first measure.
Yeah, up to the. Good. Nice job. Yeah. That fourth finger's looking a little bit straightened. So yeah, if you're able to curl it, and that might be a bit of rotation. Bit of rotation can help. Yeah.
Bit of rotation with that down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just make sure too with your right hand that you're plucking the third string, not the second string. I think I'm hearing the second string.
Okay. Yeah.
Try one more time.
Yeah. Okay. again. Yep.
Also, if you can get it as legato as possible, Larry.
Okay.
So that might mean not putting your fingers back on the strings. So you get this nice. I think I just cut one of the notes a little bit then, but yeah, try that. One more time. It's getting better. It's getting better. Good, good. Yes. Try. Yeah. You can realize that the top three fingers with your right hand don't need to move. Like they're playing on the same strings each time.
Yeah,
So you can
okay.
kind of keep that as a bit of a reference. Yeah. Again. That's better. That's better. I'm not quite hearing the middle notes of the chord. This is another thing about chord playing, you know, that I like to think of as a bit like EQ. You know, you got your bass, mids, and highs, yeah, and we sort of want to balance out a chord a little bit. And yeah, sometimes there's a region of a chord that's a little bit suppressed. So if we can try and see how when I play the chord, I'm trying to bring out the whole. The beautiful resonance in every like frequency. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Wait, one more time, maybe a little bit slower as well, Larry. Would be
Okay.
good. Yep, getting there. I don't know if I'm hearing the G. I think that's the missing one. The G, the open G. Should be an open G with each.
Yeah, I
With
had my
each,
nails done on Thursday, and that's really short, that one. So
Oh,
I've
okay,
noticed
okay.
that's trouble with that one. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
picked up this morning, and I heard it was missing, and
Ah, yeah, that explains
it's
it.
a
Okay, okay,
little bit short. So
okay.
that's what's going on.
That's what's
Yeah,
going on. Okay,
yeah.
that's all right. Yeah, we've all
I gotta
been
wait 2 days; it'll come good.
there. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. Good job. Great job. All right. Thanks, Larry. Who'd like to go next?
I can give it a try.
Yep. Okay, Emma. Good. Sounding good. Nice. Yeah. Good balance. Legato. Holding your third finger down. It's good. Yeah. Great. Good job. Thanks, Emma. Anyone else? I can see.
I can go.
All right. Oops, I think we need your original sound on there. We're not hearing the guitar right now.
I was
Please.
first to the
Yep, thank you.
Can't hear it?
Yep. You got one more chord. That's it. Yeah, that second finger. Great job. Great job. Very good. Very good. If you can, even if you play it slow, if you can try to let the chords ring on and connect with each other. In other words, legato. Legato is kind of an illusion on the guitar. So we have to describe it in a specific way. It's sort of like you pluck the chord, and then you have the sustain of the notes, and you want to connect that sustain as much as possible to the pluck of the next, with as little interference or as little stopping as possible. Yeah? That's much better. Yeah. Excellent. Very well done. Very well done. Okay. Good. Good. Does the same thing apply on the, if you did that on the piano? Do you have a similar challenge of like connecting?
No, because you can use
Or-
the
Yeah, you use the pedal. Put the pedal. Yeah, so the equivalent of, on the guitar, the equivalent of the pedal is, yeah, like it's sort of like I call it overlap. It's like when you let notes overlap with each other. So there's like, for example, you can I'm overlapping that's on the 6th string and then that's on the 5th string, so you can overlap them a little bit, and not just like I know with the pedal, it's very, you don't want to just hold your foot down on the pedal all the time. There's a whole art to it, right? And so it's the same kind of thing on the guitar. You can overlap, but you don't want to overdo it. You control. Yeah. That's good. I think let's talk about the next couple of bits here. So getting to the next chord here is now a matter of using what we call a guide finger. So this 3rd finger that's on the 4th string slides up 2 frets to the F sharp, and then your 4th finger is placed. So it's a really, really important aspect of guitar playing, the guide finger. And sometimes it's indicated like with a line like that. Sometimes it's not. So in the next sequence of chords here, where is there a guide finger, and if so, where and which one? We've got a similar thing here with the, these are all the same, but then this chord changes here.
Is the 2nd finger, is that a guide finger?
No, not the 2nd finger. It's not the 2nd finger.
The 4th?
Yes, the 4th finger. Yeah, the 4th finger, sliding up from the F sharp 1 fret to the G. Okay? Now that might seem like a really insignificant detail, but if you lift that 4th finger up, it can totally mess up your whole, it has the potential to mess up everything. Just that little, right? But if you slide it, you got that beautiful connection. I think it helps to make it more legato as well. So there's 2 guide fingers. We have that 3rd finger sliding up to the F sharp there, and then we have the 4th finger sliding up to the G there. Now we don't have a guide finger from here to there, but it's okay, because I'd say that this is one phrase here that's sort of like a comma there. So we can kind of go, we'll lift it. Okay, and then how about, let's see, any other, we don't really get any guide fingers there. So no guide fingers for those 4 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, no guide fingers. So that can make it a bit challenging. What do we do when we don't have guide fingers?
Prepare, like get your hand and like get.
Very good. Yeah, anticipate, prepare. Especially fingers that are already free. So like we're using the third finger here. We're not using it here, so we can get that. We get that ready, right? Third finger, and then the next chord, we have 2 free. We need 2 for the next one, so we can get 2 ready. And then for the next chord, again 3. So it's kind of nice that the next chord, the finger that's required for the next chord is free. So we can kind of prepare that a little bit. So that's kind of what we need to do in that. So that by nature, that will make that passage, those series of chords will probably be more difficult than the previous material, because we don't have guide fingers. Then after that, you can see 2 and 1. So that's called a anchor finger. They're anchor fingers or pivot fingers there. Fingers that stay, right? So they stay. So then we just add the third finger to that chord. Okay, then no guide finger here. So it's a bit tricky, but the fourth finger is free. So we can get that ready. Pivot finger, pivot fingers. Oh, no guide finger for that. That's a tricky one. So that requires. Okay, so this here, maybe we can practice this for our last round here. These 2 chords, because if you attempt these 2 chords, you might find they're quite tricky to make legato, because you've got no guide fingers, and the third finger has to make a big jump from the 1st string to the 6th string. Now, bonus points. If anyone's been watching my live streams, I was talking about this. What is this kind of? Yeah, Emma's got it. Snap motion, very good. Snap motion. So it's like with a click of your fingers, you move. They all move together, and they move quickly to the next chord in a coordinated, relaxed way. But they move very quick. Larry, you want to start us off? I see you got a good start there. Give that a go.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. As you can see, the challenge is the third finger. The third finger can have a tendency to be slow. So let's see it. Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Good stuff. Good stuff, Larry. Yeah, that's a really good one for any type of chord change. And I did in the live stream. That's actually exactly one of the exercises. Is those very chords. The next. No, we're in G, so it'll be A. It's like a whole series of exercises. Anyway, who'd like to go next? Trying that D7 to G. Who'd like to give that a go next?
I could try. Could we see? Or actually, never mind. I have it printed out
Need
here.
the music?
Nah, I think we have it here. I
Got it?
forgot I had it here. Which chord is it? Those last 2 chords? No. It was.
No, I'll put it up the screen here. Yeah, these 2 here.
3, 1, 2. Open D.
Yeah, open D, and then A with your second finger.
Oh, A with the second finger?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
and then C with your first, and F sharp with your third.
F sharp, E, F, yeah. That's F sharp. And then what are the things here?
And then you go to the third finger jumps down to the low G on the 6th string, and your fourth finger on the high G on the 1st string.
Third finger? The what?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, it's a big jump. Yeah.
Okay, so this one. That didn't sound right. Is that right?
No, you got to get your first finger on the C. I think I'm hearing an open B.
I went on G.
Whoops, just your internet's just gone a bit slow. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And then jump. Let's see where we're going.
G and G.
3 on G and on
G.
Oh, so all the other ones are open. So it's everything else is open, but then you have to move your thumb.
That's it. Yeah, very good. You did it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which strings I need to get here. No.
Yeah, with the right
okay.
hand, it's 6, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so it just goes.
Something like that. Yeah, try it again. I think the first chord wasn't quite right. 2, 1, 3.
I'll see.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
It's good.
And that snap motion, you know, the more legato you want it to be, the later you'll do it. Like you'll do it right at the last minute. So snap, you know, like so you go right at the last. If you snap too early, you'll get it. It'll sound a bit choppy. Yeah, it'll sound a bit staccato. So you want to snap. You want to snap right at the last moment.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And it is recommending you use 3 for the G
the
there.
rising
So yeah.
Right,
Now, it's a bit odd that I wonder why they're even. So sometimes sometimes you can use different fingers to what's marked. What could anyone suggest an alternative fingering for this chord that would be much easier to play?
I would use, if you wanted to make it easier, I'd slide my third finger up to the G.
Yeah.
And just put my first or my
Yeah.
second across.
Just slide the. So I don't know why. Maybe they're intentionally wanting us to develop this skill. That could be what it is, but an alternative way. It's not a bad thing. I think to be aware of this is just to slide the third finger up and down like that. It's substantially easier, I think, that way. But good to develop the snap motion. Good. Maybe we have time for one more person to do that.
If you're
George?
keeping the little finger on the first string, to develop that makes playing other chords in G major easier.
Yeah.
I think that's why you would want to develop
That's
it.
another good point. It does. Yeah, it's preparing you for that because when you're in
add
G,
the C and
you do need your fourth finger on.
you can play bluegrass all day, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, good point. Yeah. Anyone final?
I can try.
Yep. Okay. Emma. Yep. Awesome. Great. Yep. Good job. Fantastic. So yeah, lots to explore and dig into with that one. Guide fingers, pivot fingers, snap motion, holding fingers down while in one part of a chord while other notes are moving in another part of the chord. Guitar is this is another thing, I was talking with Steve Goss earlier today, and he's written for a lot of instruments, including guitar, and he says that guitar is a very, very odd instrument to write for. With the piano, you've got the two hands, and I think something like this would be much more logical. But we do things in a very strange way often on the guitar. But I think it's those odd things that we do that create such a nice effect on the guitar. So, and it is a very popular. It is one of the most popular instruments, and it is used in so many different styles. Just about, any style of music you can think of, there's a guitar or something similar to it. So, that's just one of those, one of those odd things to learn, but it does happen a lot in guitar music. So anyway, good stuff, everyone. Enjoy that key of E minor and that next piece, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
That's right. Thanks, Daniel.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.